Hi my Foodie Phonics friends, how are you today? I hope you enjoyed making your sun joys last week. They were so crunchy and delicious, weren't they? If you haven't made them yet, be sure to look at previous video for the recipe. In the meantime, today we're going to make bread rolls. We're going to call them bun bread. Can you see over there? Bun bread. So let's have a look at the letters that make the sounds, shall we? Letter B makes a B sound. Letter U makes an sound. And letter N makes a N sound. When we put them all together, it makes a bun word, bun bread. So you can make dinner buns for your family for Friday night, or maybe lunch buns where you are. Whatever you're going to use them for, they're going to be soft, warm, and delicious. So, shall we get into the recipe? Actually, before we get into the recipe, what I want to do is show you how to write the word bun. Can you see that all the letters end more or less on the same, whoops, that one goes a little up line. Well, on my board here, I've got a dotted black line with the recipe. I'll show you the recipe if you want to write it down for later. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you that when you're writing words that are all on the line, you just go down to the bottom of the line there and then around, and you don't go under the line again. See? And then the middle you go down, around, up and down to the line. And for letter N, you start in the middle, you go down to the line, up, a curve, and down to the line again. And there you have for bun bread. Now I just need to put this out of the way over there so that you can see all the ingredients over here. There's our word just in case you forget what we are making, bun bread. Okay, there are only 5 ingredients today, so it's easy peasy for you to make dinner buns for mum and dad. We're going to start off with 1 cup of flour. Remember, 1 cup is the bigger one. 1 cup of flour. Now, I can't work on top of my stove top today like I usually do because I've actually got the oven on already, warming up for our buns. So here's my flour. You can use any flour that you need, if it's almond flour or any kind of gluten-free flour. Whoa, it's making a puffy mess, isn't it? I will show you the 1 cup. I can, as long as I don't lean on the stove top, I can tipple it out over there. 1 cup of flour. Yeah. No, there we go. There's your 1 cup of flour. Do you know what I don't have? I don't have a jug to mix it all together in. Just going to get my jug down in my drawer over here. There we go. I've got a big glass jug to mix it all up. It's only a small recipe, so I don't need a big mixing bowl. There goes my 1 cup of flour into the jug. Then I need to have, by the way, if you want to make a sweet bun for dessert, I will link you up to my Uncinetti recipe, which has got the sprinkles on. But this one is for a meal, for a lunch or a dinner, so it's not a sweet one for dessert. Okie dokie. Then we need to have, so we've got 1 cup of flour. Then we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Oh, remember, a teaspoon is the small one. You might eat your cereal or porridge with a small one, or mommy and daddy might stir their cup of tea or coffee with a small teaspoon. So there it is, a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, sprinkle it into the flour. And then the recipe also says a teaspoon of salt. But I'm not a huge, big fan of salt, so I'm only going to use half a teaspoon of salt. I think I'm going to pour it over here in case I spill, and then I'll bring the half a teaspoon over to you so you can have a look. So, although the recipe says 1 whole teaspoon of salt, I'm not going to put a whole teaspoon in because we're also going to add mayonnaise, and mayonnaise also has salt in it. So half a teaspoon of salt for me. You can add a whole teaspoon if you want. I will have a link to the proper recipe in the comments below. So there we've got our flour, our baking powder, and our salt. Now we need a half a cup of milk. Remember, the half a cup is the smaller one. 2 halves make a whole cup. Okay, Okay, so we need half a cup of milk. I've got a big 2-litre box of milk over here, so I'm also going to pour very carefully over my jug. And then I'll bring it closer to show you. Oh, it's actually full as well. I've just opened it. All right, half a cup of milk. There we go. Okay, I can bring it over to you to show you. There it is, my half a cup of milk. You can use any milk that you need, whether it's almond milk, soy milk. I've got skim milk here. In that goes. Give it a stir with my teaspoon. And then the last thing we need to add is our 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Now the mayonnaise takes the place of oils and egg that are usually in bun recipes. So you won't need to add oil or eggs. Just your 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Again, any mayonnaise of your liking, it doesn't matter. There we go, there's 1 tablespoon. Remember, the tablespoon is the bigger spoon. 1 tablespoon. Tap, tap. And another one. There we go, easy peasy. How easy and quick is that recipe? There's 2 tablespoons of, now I can use the tablespoon to stir up my mixture, and I can bring it a little bit closer to you so you can see what it looks like. It looks just like bread dough. Do you know that your bread that you eat, or your bread rolls that you sometimes buy, come from the bakery? A bakery is a special kind of shop that bakes all things with pastry or dough. Cakes, breads, bread rolls, all kinds of pastries and treats that you buy and that you enjoy are normally baked in the bakery. You've got your own bakery going today here if you're making these buns with me. I actually just need to get, I think I'm going to try with a knife, a blunt knife. 1 second, I'll just get that over here. The dough is quite nice and sticky, so it's sort of sticking to the spoon. And you see there, I have to scrape it off the spoon a bit. That's the best part about baking. You get to experience all kinds of different things, don't you? All right, so I've got my knife here. I'm going to try and scrape it off down the sides and mix the mayonnaise with the flour and the salt and the baking powder and the milk. All right, now this recipe says that it makes 6 buns, but I'm going to use my buns for my hamburgers for dinner tonight. So I'm actually going to make 4 buns so that they're just slightly bigger, so that they can fit the hamburger patties inside. Okay, now I'm going to try and lift them out with a spoon. If that doesn't work, I might get sticky with my fingers. So again, the recipe that I'm following says to use patty pans, but I prefer not to because I want, oh sorry, I'm just out the camera. I want my bread rolls, my buns to be a little bit bigger, so I'm actually using a normal oven pan with a bit of baking paper on top. And I'm going to try and dollop 4 even spoons of dough. I will lift the baking tray so that you can see onto my baking paper. That's 1, that's 2. Now I'm sure if you wanted to, you could even sprinkle some grated cheese on top. I'm not going to do that today because that's also not in the recipe, but I'm pretty sure you can do that if you wanted to. Yeah, so I don't think I would make 6 smaller buns out of this recipe. I think 4 bigger buns is the better option. I will lift the tray so that you can see, and then you're going to pop the dough into the oven, pop these bun dough balls into the oven at 176 degrees Celsius. That's 350 degrees Fahrenheit if you're overseas. This is the part where you'll have to ask mum or dad to help you, boys and girls, because as you know, ovens are hot and they only have to bake for 15 minutes. And then you have delicious, warm, soft buns for your lunch or dinner. I'm going to pop them in, and then by the time you're watching this video, you will be able to see what those buns look like when they come out the oven in 15 minutes. I do hope you bake these recipes with me today. Thanks for joining me, boys and girls. Bye for now.